On the Entrepreneur this week,
The demand for a black doll in Kenya is very high. I did not have any experience with dolls, but my spirit was whetted.
then on the second half,
Prt movers came into being to offer solutions to guys who wanted to move houses. When this opportunity arose, I said, why not?
Olivia Mengich is busy at her store. This 29-year-old specializes in the manufacturing of black dolls referred to as Swahili Princess. For most, these dolls are just that, playthings. However, for this entrepreneur, these figurines are more than just toys for young girls.
I'm very into the concept of Black consciousness by Steve Biko. So the entire theory is just about it's just about instilling pride in black people, being aware of your blackness, in short. And when you look into, African culture, we're seen to have, or rather black people throughout the world, we're seen to have an inferiority complex which goes into various aspects of our lives. One of those aspects is beauty for black women. And when I say that, because of how I link that to inferiority complex, is you can see things like bleaching that goes on with black women. And this idea that we're supposed to be perfect in a certain way. Women from a young age are exposed to images of beauty, right? From Cinderella to Barbie dolls, and all these symbols of beauty happen to be white. As we continue to grow, the celebrities that seem to be making the most of their lives happen to be white.
It is with this in mind that Olivia would establish Swahili Princess in June of 2016. She does admit, though, that her dolls are not the silver bullet that will counteract people's long-held perceptions and attitudes.
We do culture through fashion. So our dolls are dressed in either kitenge or Maasai, because this is for East African market. And we have very rich culture in East Africa. For kitenge, it's called a communicating fabric. I don't know about that. It's called a communicating fabric because of the patterns, and sometimes it has wording on them, sometimes it can be political. It reflects the times and the moods of the East African people.
Like most entrepreneurs, Olivia would test the viability of her business by manufacturing a few dolls. She would then use Facebook to market her products. After a few months, her startup started gaining traction. Olivia had to hire delivery people so as to keep up with the demand.
The demand for a black doll in Kenya is very high. Okay, and in Africa is high. So, and that's mainly because we do not have, beautiful black dolls. There are some black dolls in the market. If you go to to various stores, you find some black dolls, but they have errors. One of the biggest errors is that the dark skin tone, they're mainly dark skin tones, which is beautiful. But the problem is that the dark skin tone that they have created does not look like us. It doesn't really look like human skin. It looks more like clay, it's dull, it's not a real black tone. And then you find also that they have blue eyes, they sometimes have blonde hair or orange hair and things like that.
The Swahili Princess doll is made from polypropylene and polyvinyl chloride. It is built in a 7-part process: manufacturing, assembly, quality check, tailoring, braiding, dressing, and finally packaging.
I feel excited because, as you know, entrepreneurship is a risk. There is a risk involved. And when you say that your creation is being embraced by people, and the way it's being embraced by my customers, they enjoy it so much that they post on Facebook, they post on Instagram, they're constantly sharing about it. I keep hearing about Swahili Princess, So it makes me, to be honest, really happy. It makes me feel, it motivates me. Right? So it really motivates me to know that there is a need for my product and people like it so much. They don't just buy it and continue with their lives. They buy it, share their stories about it, try to get in contact with us, so it becomes almost like we're creating a small community of people who like Swahili Princess dolls.
Nevertheless, Olivia does admit that there were some challenges along the way. One of the biggest impediments she had to contend with was getting into retail stores. This, though, was not the only unique challenge she faced.
The first challenge was trying to get a manufacturer. It's not trying to get a manufacturer that I can trust, that I can, continuously use and everything, and who would actually work with me in the way I wanted, my design and everything. So that was the first challenge. Second challenge was getting cabs. So for a very long time, we had to stay online. because we couldn't get KEBS. So until end of November this year, to mid-November, I got, let's just say, KEBS approval to sell the loads I have.
Swahili Princess was not Olivia's first stab at entrepreneurship. After working as a marketer for Jumia Kenya, Nuevo HR Business Solutions, and the Kenya Commercial Bank, Olivia would embark on self-employment. However, she does admit that it was a struggle leaving the corporate sector.
When I was in marketing, we used to source for images from, you can do assignment photography, or you could buy images from a stock photography company. So I would buy images from Shutterstock and iStock, and the issues were that, these images, we needed to have black images, right? But there's different types of black, and African American black is what you find in stock photography companies. And so this image didn't look like Kenyans, and I thought, well, you know what, companies really want to buy images that look like us, because if you want to talk to your audience, you have to make sure that what they're looking at reflects them, that it really speaks to them. So that was my first business that I started.
In order to improve her entrepreneurship skills, Olivia would enroll for an MBA in entrepreneurship from Gibbs. This was in addition to a degree in criminology and geography from Monash University. The entrepreneur strongly believes that Kenyans need to give greater emphasis to self-employment.
There have been people who have wondered why I ventured into it, who have not been supportive, who have said maybe this wasn't the right time, or I think you should go get a job. When can you get a job? Can I help you get a job? So there are people that do not understand that entrepreneurship is something that can lead to a successful career.
Due to the success of the Swahili Princess range of dolls, Olivia was selected as the national winner of the Creative Business Cup. She will represent Kenya at the annual summit held in Denmark. Olivia is of the opinion that taking part in the event will take her company to the next level.
All right, so the Creative Business Cup is an annual competition for entrepreneurs throughout the world. So from different continents, and so I was selected to represent Kenya, and I was selected by their national partner here. Anyway, so when I went there, and the first thing that that was amazing for me was the networking opportunities that were there. Meeting other entrepreneurs really helps with your mind. It feeds your mind. It feeds your direction. It helps you. So the one thing I started off with networking. I met other people who are in similar industries that would like to work with Swahili Princess in some way or the other. I also met someone who worked at Lego, and who's interested, who is now going to be like an advisor. Yeah, so I met people. I met some people also in creativity and innovation. So it was really interesting it was a very good networking opportunity.
As an entrepreneur, it is important to implement feedback generated from customers. The next edition of dolls from the company will be much darker. Olivia is also in the process of manufacturing male dolls for girls.
Like with any industry, you tend to benchmark against the market leaders. The Swahili Princess is a fashion beauty doll, and the biggest leader in the world for fashion beauty dolls is Barbie, and they have their Ken, right? So of course, for one, I will start with saying that there will be a male doll, but for females, for young girls, the Ken, the Barbie and the Ken. So Swahili Princess dolls, the first thing we're gonna have, we'll have the light-skinned dolls, and we'll go to the dark-skinned dolls. So there'll be two of them, and then they will have a male doll, right? So there will be a male doll for the girls. Now, boys, right? So the first thing I have to say is that girls are attracted to dolls, right? They help us, they help young girls to talk about their daily lives, to emulate, what they want to do. They just play with them to reflect what's going on in their daily lives, their dreams, So girls are attracted to dolls. Boys are more attracted to cars and that kind of toy. So because of that, there's a larger gap with the dolls for girls.
Swahili Princess products are marketed through social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. The main reason for this is that they are a young business, and most of the clients they target use these mediums. The enterprise currently has 4 full-time employees and a further 5 who are outsourced for their specialist skills.
When I see photos of young girls playing with my dolls, I get so excited because I understand what that means for them, what that means for their development, what that means for young girls who are seeing who are looking at a pretty doll that looks like them and that looks like their sister, or looks like their mommy, So that's it. I just get so inspired when I see these young girls playing with these dolls, and that's what motivates me.
She hopes that soon her dolls will be a permanent fixture in stores around the East African region. That notwithstanding, the entrepreneur has plans for diversifying her business.
We are looking into storybooks because we started a competition a few months back in October whereby young girls are writing us essays, and in return, one of them will win. It's a competition, so one of them will win a chance to write a Swahili Princess storybook. Because I believe that the best people to write a book for children is children, because they are more imaginative than we are. And also it's a good way to promote literacy amongst young girls. So the competition is for girls between the ages of 10 to 14. We've not finished it. So that's the next thing, is the Swahili Princess storybook.
So what advice does Olivia Mengage have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
First, go for it, follow your deer. 2, bootstrap it. And 3, go to market.
Don't go away, the entrepreneur will be right back.